May 7th. Is that still right?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 10 p.m. It just turned 10 p.m. May 7th. We just got back from breastfeeding class. We're going to talk about that in a different video. And this weekend, we gave tiptoes away. We'll talk about that in a separate video. We also went to the Denver Museum of
Science and...
It's history and science. Or no, nature and
science.
There's far more nature than there is science. And there's also a lot of emptiness there. We do have a separate video talking about that experience. And then I also have a highlight video that was created just kind of the different exhibits. So today, or at least the purpose of this video, is to do kind of an update. You know, it's been, I think the last update we did was May 2nd. Do you want to talk about kind of where things are at right now?
We got the blood work and the urine check back, but it just had a bunch of numbers, like good numbers, bad numbers. This is what the numbers are. And it kind of had a general idea of what you're looking for when you're looking at those numbers. Today's Tuesday, so I called Monday, or like 12:30, and the receptionist said that the nurse would call me back. I said, okay, cool beans. So around 4 o'clock, because I had a site visit that I had to run to between 4 and 4:30. I had to drive to, so between 4 and 4:30, I was driving, but I was calling the doctor's office back. And the receptionist said, oh, well, they have 24 hours to get back to you. 1 o'clock today rolls around, haven't heard anything. 1:30 rolls around, haven't heard anything. 2 o'clock hits, and I was like, all right, I'm going to call him. Said that the nurse was busy on the phone with someone else, and that she would call me back. It never happened.
I tried to press option number 1 to get the on-call nurse. If this is like important or an emergency or something, they say. Not obviously an emergency, but if this is important, you want to speak to the on-call nurse, press number 1. And I pressed number 1, and it was a recording, and it says, we are closed. You cannot leave a message. It's not an answering service. Please call back tomorrow. It's not the first thing. It's, the nurse and the OBGYN are on completely different playing fields, and they don't know what the other is doing. I have not, and I've told this story before, I have not found a single person so far that they've consistently changed the due date up to a whole month, right? It's because they didn't listen to us in the beginning, and then they came up with the end of June as a due date, which we knew was not accurate. And then as time went on, they kept lowering the due date, and now it's pretty consistent, where we would have been if they would have just followed the app that they were already having her do. We have the issue of them not communicating with each other. The doctor will do an ultrasound and the nurse will be like, why is she doing an ultrasound? Well, shouldn't you guys know when you do ultrasounds versus not? And why are you questioning the doctor? Why don't you communicate with each other and say, hey, I'm going to do an ultrasound. Okay, cool. There's that. When we did the first set of blood work, they never called you for that either. You had to call them. If you remember that when we were in Vegas, you had to call them for the blood work. There's the issue of the ultrasound. Like, we still do not have good ultrasound pictures, yet people are able to get very good ultrasound pictures. Even some of them have like 3D models within, their first trimester. And here we are at the third trimester, and all we got are blobs. And now this has happened where we have high blood pressure. They don't answer. They don't say anything about it. Nothing. Oh, you have high blood pressure. Cool. All right. Here's some lab work. Leave.
Say, like, if you have concerns or questions, call the nurse. Well,
they don't call you back, and they're not available to answer any questions.
Call you back. So how am I supposed to answer
how are you supposed to entrust these people with your life and your health and the life of your unborn baby when they clearly don't care about you or your health or your baby?
We're almost done with this pregnancy. So when we're done, we'll find a new OBGYN. The nurse that did the training today talked to me about some of my results because I pulled it up on my phone and showed her. And so she showed me what they each one were. So she's like, these are your liver numbers, which are, most of them are normal. This is the only one that's off. And then she was like, and then this one is your protein and, you know, so on and so forth. And then she was like, but mostly if you just feel like you need someone to check you, just go in and have them check your blood pressure again. Because I've been having swelling, but that's normal pregnancy stuff. I've been having a hard time breathing, which is also a normal pregnancy thing because I'm nearing the end of my pregnancy. The doctor suggested a nasal rinse, I guess sinus rinse. I've been doing it at least once a day. It hasn't really helped. But the congestion gets so bad that it hits the back of my throat and then makes globs of mucus, like just gross in the back of my throat, which causes me to gag, which causes me to throw up.
Anything else? How are you feeling otherwise other than that? We walked around the museum. How are you feeling there?
I feel fine. Tired. Needed breaks.
What was that one lady when you were going up the stairs and she was like, week 39, that's the worst. But like the way she just said it as she was going up the stairs was
with her baby.
With her baby was like she had all of the regrets in the world.
And so she came over the stairs and she stopped and saw me and I was like, no, you go. I was like, I'm pregnant. I'm going to go slow. And so that's what she said, the comment afterwards when she passed me. Even Michael was like, haven't you been getting pains? I'm like, well, yeah, but they're not like constant pains. They're there and then like leave. So I can't tell if it's the baby just pressing up against an organ, being like, ha, ha, jabbed you, mom. That's it.
Yeah.